Next up, Alan O'Reilly. Alan is someone else I've known for a couple of years. Only met him for the first time in London last year. If you are on my page at all, you probably have noticed a lot of his comments. He writes terrific comments. He's very, very knowledgeable about the theory of abolition. He works very hard, and he's the other half of the grumpy old vegans, and he is older than the younger of the grumpy old vegans. Okay, Alan.
It's an issue surrounding sites like Facebook that I want to talk about this afternoon. Public perception of vegans varies between we're a bunch of tree-hugging hippies all the way up the scale to we're fanatical cult members. Okay. Now, we need to dispel this image and show veganism in a good light. When we're on Facebook, right, very often people who are not participating in conversations but are nevertheless looking in on what is going on. Now, we rather affectionately call these people the lurkers. Now, what I want to do this afternoon is just talk to you a little bit about how you can tailor your advocacy to take into account the people who are there, not directly participating in the conversation, but are nevertheless interested in what you have to say. Because I'm sure many of us, if not all of us, have at some point been contacted by somebody who's seen something we've said somewhere else. On Facebook, for example, we've made a comment, and that's why they've contacted us. We didn't know they existed at the time. Now we do. So, what do we need to do in order to think about these people, the lurkers, when we're actually advocating? First of all, I think we need to make people understand that we're just ordinary people. We are not tree huggers, well, some of us might be, but most people aren't tree huggers, and neither are they fanatical cult members. So the first thing I think we ought to do when we're advocating on social media sites is to be polite and to be gracious, sometimes in the face of some real difficulties, all right? But I can tell you that if there is a Facebook thread, for example, that's the equivalent of the Third World War, anybody looking in will see one side being nice and the other side being obnoxious, and they will take the side of the person who's being nice. Right? So it is really important to be pleasant when you're advocating. I'm not saying that you should always be give in to people who are being nasty. You can be firm by all means, but you should always try and be civil. I think that's very important. We are information givers. We need to make sure that people who are looking in on these threads receive information which tells them why they should be vegan and how they can be vegan. What we don't want to do is to get involved in arguments with people that are counterproductive and move away from giving that information. You can make an argument, but you shouldn't get involved in an argument. Right? So you do really need to think of ways that you can keep control of the conversation. Always stick to the point, stick to the topic. Bring people back to the topic if they are trying to derail the conversation. You will meet a lot of people on social media sites such as Facebook who have different agendas. Some of them genuinely want to ask questions, are interested. Others are trolls. Others have absolutely no intention of doing anything except try to get you to go and eat a bacon sandwich. Right? But if you make sure that you keep control of that conversation, always give answers that include information that people can use if they see it. Right? Keep away from straw man arguments and other logical fallacies, and ensure that you always stick to the point. Then anybody looking in on your conversation will be able to take something away from it. Because what we are doing is sowing seeds in soil that at that time we are unaware of, but it is always there. As I said before, people do come back to us and say, I saw you on blah, 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 blah. Right? Can I have an answer to this particular question? So, when we're advocating on sites like Facebook, we're not there to win. It's important that we treat it as an advocacy opportunity, not an opportunity to show how good we are. We are advocating for other people, we're advocating for the victims of injustice. We're not advocating because we want ourselves to be seen as heroes. We want to make other vegans. Right? We're already vegan, we need an awful lot more, so that's the opportunity that we should be taking when we're doing this. So the final thing I want to say really on this subject is learn how to bow out of a conversation. Know when it is time to stop. Because otherwise it just goes on and is effectively counterproductive. Right? Arguments can become circular. You can actually get fed up with people trying to troll you. All right? It does get a bit wearing after a little while. All right? But even those types of conversation could be good for these third parties looking in, because you have given a lot of information, a lot of links, things they can go away and look up for themselves and come back to you or to somebody else at a later date. Most of the people who go vegan as a result of your advocacy, all right, you will not know about, because they will go off on a different road, but you will have planted those seeds. You will have helped to make it happen. Nobody can make anyone vegan, they've got to do it for themselves, as we all did, but you can help them in your advocacy. Give them the information, let them go away and use it for themselves. Show vegans in a good light. We're ordinary people, anyone can be vegan, they should be vegan, it's up to us to show them how to do it. Okay, thank you.